Hello everybody! Is there anybody there? I'm Lucy Wilson and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to do a cookery demonstration for you with blueberries. We're not actually blueberry farmers, they come from our next door neighbour, Neil Thompson. We farm in the Scottish borders. Our farm is called Cowbog and we predominantly breed Hereford cattle. We also have some cereals, and we have a farm diversification called Fluffy Moos where we do group experience days and field to fork tours, and we have some new tin bothies that we're very much hoping at some stage we might be able to use for people to come and do small social gatherings and enjoy the countryside. But like everyone else, that's a bit tricky at the moment. But if that sounds like something you're interested in, Fluffy Moos is on social media, so you can see what we do there. We've been involved with Leaf Open Farm Sunday for a couple of years. We usually open to the public and run tractor tours where we take people around the farm and show them what we do and how we're trying to farm and also look after the environment at the same time. But today we're going to be talking about blueberries, and as I mentioned, they come from the farm next door where they're grown in polytunnels. And I'm not sure if you've just seen the video that we did the other day, talking to Neil and seeing how the blueberries are grown and picked and how it all happens. And he's very kindly given me a large tub of blueberries. It was quite a lot larger a couple of days ago, but we've done a pretty good job on them. And they're absolutely delicious. And I apologise if I'm repeating myself, because I did say it in the video, but when Neil announced that he was going to start growing blueberries, I was sort of thinking, you know, why? Because my experience with blueberries up until that point had been, was fairly indifferent to them, and that, you know, they've always been sold as this amazing superfood, and they totally are. But I think when you're eating them out of season, probably when they've been imported and not picked that recently, they can be really fairly average. And when you, they're quite often quite woolly as well, but when you are eating British grown blueberries in season, they are absolutely a completely different berry. They are so delicious. They're quite sweet, but they've also got, you know, quite a bit of acidity to them, and they're completely different. So if you, like me, are not a massive fan of them, please try some British blueberries, because they're really good. Anyway, today we're going to do some different things with blueberries, and we're going to start off with a blueberry and polenta shortcake, which it's not my own recipe. I pulled it out of a magazine a while ago, and I've tweaked it a little bit in that I use lemon rather than orange, which was what was specified, but blueberries work really well with all the citrus fruits, so use whatever you like. I should also mention that I have my husband Robert here today.
Hello.
Hello Robert. And he's going to be giving us some facts, and if anybody has any questions that you want to ask while we're live, do ask them, and Robert will try and answer them, and if we can't answer them because we're not sure of the answer, because we're not experts in farming blueberries, then we will find out for you, or perhaps Farmer Neil's watching now and maybe he can answer it. I'm not sure if you're there or not, Neil. He might be picking broccoli, which they also grow. So let me just get some things here. I'm not sure if Robert's going to have any facts that are quite as provocative as the last time when we were talking about beetroot, but you'll have to stay tuned to find out. Right, okay, so this is a very straightforward recipe, although it's probably, it does have the potential to go a little bit wrong, and I hear you ask, so why are you doing it, Lucy? And it's because it's so good, and it's not complicated. You just need to be a little bit careful with the dough because it's quite buttery, so it's quite sticky, but that's what's going to make it so delicious in the end. So just bear with me. It's not complicated, but what I've done is I've made the dough already to save us watching me do that. And so what I've done with my food processor is I've put some butter and some flour and some self-raising flour in the processor, and I've mixed it all together until it looks like breadcrumbs. And I should also mention that all of these recipes and the amounts and so on are going to be on my Facebook page, which is Lucy Wilson Cookery, which I think will be shared by the Leave Open Farm Sunday page as well. So you can get the exact details there, and if I forget to do something in the heat of the moment, it's all on there. And then once that looks like breadcrumbs, I'm going to add about 100 grams of quick cook polenta. Make sure it says quick cook on the packet, or it just doesn't work quite the same, because the polenta gives it a lovely crispiness, which it works really well. You also want to add 150 grams of caster sugar and the zest of 1 lemon, and mix that in, and then you're going to get a medium egg and 1 tablespoon of lemon juice or orange juice, whatever you want to use. Combine that together in a jug, pour it into the food processor with it running into the top, and then it's going to start to come together. Then you're going to tip it onto a floured surface and pull it together as a dough. You want to get, I think it's 250 grams of it, wrap it in cling film and put it in the fridge for about half an hour. And then the rest, which I've got here, which is in this occasion wrapped up because I did it earlier, we're going to put it into a 23 centimetre springform tin, which I've greased slightly with butter, and I've put a disc of greaseproof paper in it. And then this is where the fun starts, because it is quite sticky. I'm going to put it in, and we're going to spread it out. But what I would recommend that you do is put a little sort of pile of flour here, so that you can use that to, but the easiest thing is actually to start off with the back of a spoon, but it's going to be a bit sticky, so if you get a little bit of flour mixed in with it, it's not going to really matter too much. So maybe, Robert, do you have any blueberry facts that you can share with us at this moment?
Well, I can tell you that people have been eating blueberries for more than 13,000 years.
Wow.
And a single bush can produce as many as 6,000 blueberries, so that's over the last 13,000 years, that's a lot of blueberries. But in the UK, they're an awful lot grown. There are 2,666 tonnes were grown in 2018, and I can't find any other information on that. But that, just in front of Lucy, is the wee black tray of blueberries. So each year that's 666,500 of those. 666,500 of those.
Right, good maths.
Yes.
Did you just do that off the top of your head?
I did indeed. So,
Wow.
probably what's very good just now is the fact that they're also a very good antioxidant as well.
I think that's why everyone really got into them in a big way.
Yeah.
Which is great when they taste nice, which these ones do, but when they taste, they can be quite sort of a bit sour, and they not have so much of the sweetness with it when they're not in season, I find.
So what that means is that when you make your cocktail later on, if you have blueberries and alcohol, then it's more like, it's balancing each other out, is it? Or not?
I don't know, it's sort of like a superfood cocktail. But anyway, you're getting ahead of yourself there, Robert.
Oh, sorry about that.
Right, so what I'm doing here is I've got my fingers floured, and I'm just sort of pulling it up. You just want it to come about 2 centimetres up the side, and then that'll do. Right, and then what you're going to do is add, I've got about 350 grams here of Neil's beautiful blueberries, and I was really excited today actually to find that I have a blueberry bowl, which I've had for a long time. I've got no idea where it came from, but there we go. It's a sign. I'm not sure what it's a sign of. It's maybe a sign that I have too many bowls, but right, it's a stalk. Okay, so just want them to evenly coat the bottom of the tin, and then we're going to get 25 grams of caster sugar, which I've measured out here. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top, and then we're going to get a tablespoon, I think, no, 2 heaped teaspoons, probably about this similar amount actually, and scatter that on the top as well. And as I said before, please make sure that it says quick cook on the packet, or it really won't work the same at all. Okay, so we're just going to put that to the side quickly, and then we're going to spread this out because we're going to need it in a minute. And I'm going to get the other disc, well, the other piece here that I'm going to try and roll out. And it didn't say this in the original recipe, but I found that it's really fairly difficult to roll this dough out unless you have quite a bit of flour. And I've tried rolling it out between 2 pieces of greaseproof paper, which you can sometimes do, but it just doesn't really work. So just yeah, add some flour to it. So and I'm going to say this in a minute because I don't think I've ever managed to do this with it staying in one piece. But if it falls apart and you have to put it in pieces, it's really not going to matter. It looks the same when it comes out, as you'll see in a minute, because I made one. Oh, see, it's a bit tricky, but it's worth it. Right. Pastry chefs all over the country thinking, what is she doing? Right. See, look, this isn't going to matter too much. We're just going to spread it out. It'll be fine. Because it'll all just sort of melt together when it cooks. And then I just want to get a fork and just try and sort of crimp it together at the sides, put a bit of flour on the fork if it's sticking together. Right, okay, right, enough of that. So you just want to then put that in the oven for about 40-45 minutes, and then it's going to come out of the oven. And here's one I made earlier, and as you can see, the fact that it came apart a bit, it doesn't matter, and I think it looks beautiful, and it tastes really good as well because it's very buttery and shortbread like. So bit of a mess here on the counter, but sort that out. So let's cut a slice. So you can serve this slightly warm or completely cold. If you serve it warm, it's quite nice. I've got some really naughty Graham's extra thick cream here, and there we go. So I think it looks beautiful and it's really tasty as well. Right, so just while I tidy up a bit. Robert, have you got any other interesting facts?
Well, not just on blueberries, but it's quite interesting when you go to a supermarket or a shop to find out where your food's from. And you know, obviously we've got these from Neil at Caverton Mill. Now, it might be that if you go and buy a packet of blueberries somewhere, you can see exactly where the fruit is grown, and you know, it says on it the name of your grower and which region they're in the UK. So it's really important that you choose your meals carefully. Make sure they're sustainable. Now, if it says that it's an avocado growing in Scotland, then it's probably not as sustainable as an avocado growing somewhere else in the world, because we'd have to heat it and do everything to make it grow. So yeah, but look for things like blueberries when they're in season in the UK, and raspberries and strawberries, and there's a lot of veg coming off the fields now, especially running up to Christmas. You know, make sure you choose wisely.
Right, okay, moving along, we're going to move on to something more savoury that's really delicious that you can do with blueberries. And this is a really local meal for us, because on top of using Neil's blueberries, we're going to use some wood pigeon breasts that came from a company called Burnside Farm Foods, which are quite close to us here. And they sell all sorts of wild game, and I think they have a website too, if that's something you're interested in, so they can send it to you. But this is a blueberry sauce, and it works really well with all kinds of game. I'm going to use, as I say, wood pigeon today, but it would also be really delicious with venison or duck, or even partridge. So the principle is the same. So what I've done is I've already fried the wood pigeon breasts just before we went live. So we like them really rare and very pink on the middle. So that's about 2 minutes on each side. If you would prefer them a little bit more medium, I would do probably 2.5, or if you really want them more well done, probably 3 minutes aside. But they're not big, and bearing in mind that if you they're better rare because they might start to dry out a little bit if you cook them for too long. But what I've done before I fried them is I've just put a little bit of my favourite thing at the moment on them, which is smoked salt. I just got this at our local supermarket, but I use it a lot. It's really good with beef as well, all sorts of game. It's really nice. So I put a little bit of that on it, and I've just put them on a wall plate to rest, which will really help them be tender. And then in the pan that I've cooked them in, the oven on, I'm going to add a tablespoon of balsamic vinegar.
Does it matter how good that balsamic vinegar is, or there are different standards, aren't there?
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't probably use a really expensive one for this, for a sauce, because it's going to be combined with a lot of other things. If you're doing a salad, which we'll be doing shortly, then yes, definitely I would use a good one, but no, it won't really matter for this one. And then we're going to do 150 mils of good beef stock. We're going to add to that. And then we're going to add some red or blackcurrant jelly. I happen to have some blackcurrant jelly here because I make quite a lot of it.
But you can buy blackcurrants again from the UK, can't you? Very easily.
Yeah, well, they're not. You don't often see them in the supermarket, but most of the pick your own fruit farms do grow them. And honestly, we're lucky we have them in the garden, but I make, so much of the blackcurrant and red currants and gooseberries because jelly, because I use it so much. It's really good just about any stew that I make, curries, gravies. It's the most useful thing. But if you're going to buy it, just make sure you get a good one, because quite often when you come across red currant jelly, it's not got a high fruit content, and you may as well just use a couple of tablespoons of sugar instead, because that's effectively what it is. It's just jelly, because when the reason why you use the currant jellies is because it has that acidity in it. It's sweet, but it's also quite acidic, and it's just really, really useful. So if you fancy going to your fruit farm, or if you're lucky enough to have them in your garden, then make it, because it's really useful. Okay, I've got a little bit of garlic here as well, clove of garlic that I'm going to pop in, and I'm going to put in a little sprig of rosemary. So, and by little I mean about that size. Rosemary is fabulous in this, but it's one of those herbs that actually if you use too much, it can make things really soapy and quite unpleasant. So that's plenty. And we're just going to stir that in and wait for the jelly to melt.
The pigeon that Lucy's using is it's always a bit of a problem to us as farmers. And yesterday we did a wee live video of a combine going in a field of oilseed rape, which is probably the last field in the UK to be cut of oilseed rape, winter oilseed rape anyway. And that was because the pigeons ate it all last year. So there's millions of pigeons in the UK. So unfortunately we have to stay on top of them a wee bit, but it's great to make use of the high protein meat that they have.
Right, so that's starting to melt there, and also you've got the juices in the pan still from cooking the wood pigeon, and that's going to really enhance the sauce as well. So that jelly's melted now, so I'm going to add the blueberries. And just going to let those cook in the with the rest of the ingredients there, and just soften a little bit. And while that's happening, actually I can move that away now. Get wood pigeon breasts, and put those in the middle there.
They reckon that wood pigeons cause about £3 million worth of damage to crops annually in the UK. So, yeah, it's no wonder that we don't like them. And there's about 5 million million of them in the UK, so I don't think these 6 that we're using today is going to be a problem. So.
I can really smell the rosemary. And I tipped, you may have noticed the plate that they've been resting on, there were some juices that had collected in the bottom of that, so we don't want to waste those, we've tipped those in as well. So, probably ideally I would leave this a little bit longer, but I don't think you probably want to watch me frying the pan for too much. I'm going to I don't know if you can, against the black frying pan, if you can see too much there, but I think once it's on the plate here. And I've cut one of them open there, and you can see the lovely pink meat. I would really recommend that that's how you eat it, but I appreciate that not everyone goes in for that. But really, Robert and I had a little bit of a taste test yesterday just to make sure everything was okay, and it's really tasty. And then we'll just put a little bit of decoration there, and there we go. So I have the local wood pigeon with a blueberry sauce. So put that to the side. Anything else you can tell us about blueberries, Robert?
Well, blueberries are, like you said, they're an antioxidant, but they've been linked to a range of health benefits, and that is including a reduced risk of cancer, increased insulin response, so they're very good for leveling out your blood sugar. So if over the last wee while you've been a wee bit all over the place because kids are at home and or things aren't just as rosy as they used to be, then they're very good for that. And a reversal in age-related memory loss. I've forgotten what I was going to say there for a minute. So eat some more. And also lowering blood pressure. So,
oh, well, that would be quite useful around here.
Yeah, so basically blueberries are going to keep you youthful, energised, creative and planning is what the information I found, and it will keep you in the mood, is what it says. So yeah, with the right intake of the wonder fruit, your blood will be pumping it, and it'll be great. It's one of the facts I found.
Right, heard it here first. Right, okay, so the next thing we're going to do with blueberries is a blueberry vinaigrette for a salad. So, right, just have one more thing that I need to get here. A few ingredients here, and again I've sort of done a little bit of the frying before we went live, just to make things a bit easier, but ideally you'd probably want to be doing this and serving it a bit warmer. So I've got a little bed of some here. I quite like to use there's a bit of watercress in there and some rocket and the pea shoots, which I really like, and spinach and chard, but you know, use whatever you like with any salad. It's completely, you know, you do with it. But I would suggest that this dressing works really well with sort of saltier foods. So I'm going to do here some smoked duck breast, which again, it's a Scottish company that do it, but it's available at our local supermarket, so it's really easy to find. There's also a smoked chicken, or you could use wood pigeon breasts or whatever you like, but try and go for something that's a little bit salty. Alternatively, if you want a vegetarian option, it would be really good with goat's cheese or any kind of cheese really that's a bit saltier would be my recommendation. But today you put some little bits of smoked duck in. The smoked duck, you can eat it as it comes, but there is a slight greasiness to it, so I just have lightly pan fried it for a moment, just to break down the fat a little bit. And I've also done some pan fried peaches, which are really delicious. I know, not terribly British, but very delicious at this time of the year.
But it goes back to what we were saying as well about sustainability, and it might not be sustainable to grow peaches in the UK. So.
But they're definitely, now's the time of year to eat them, not in February when they'll be like, a rock. And I've also got some hazelnuts, which I've just lightly dry fried, just to toast them slightly, so because they'll give a little bit of crunch, which is nice in a salad. And then we'll make the dressing, which we're just going to do in a blender. You could do it in an upright one if you want, but so we need 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. So where have I put it? So I would use a good balsamic vinegar for this, because you're going to be putting it on the salad, and you will get a much better flavour from it. Come on, it's taking a while, sorry.
But like all fresh fruit, they carry vitamin C and vitamin A and vitamin E, so they're great for the younger people and older people.
This is a tablespoon of honey that I'm going to put in. We're lucky that we have our own hives on the farm. We're not responsible for the beekeeping.
Not our own hives, but they're on the...
No, well, they're not, but they're on the farm, which as well as giving us lovely honey, it's very beneficial for us as well, for the farm and for the crops.
Yeah, for pollinators.
Yeah, so it's good to have lots of bees, as we're always hearing. And I'm going to put 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice in. It's up to you how much, you can adjust the amount of honey or lemon to suit you, or you could use lime juice as well. I like it quite zingy, so I'm going to put a bit in. And then we're going to use 1/2 cup of rapeseed oil.
Which, yeah, UK rapeseed oil, so it's a very good substitute compared to olive oil if you can't find it. Rapeseed oil is really good.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, and of course we're going to put in 1 cup of blueberries as well. So use that. I'm going to put in a few more because I want it to be really perfect. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit noisy, I apologise. Start the motor, get the motor running, and then just pour the olive oil in. Perfect. Right, so that's see the beautiful colour there, and that's it's sweet, but it's got that lovely zinginess with the lemon juice. So that's beautiful, and it's such a beautiful colour, and it's going to look really nice on the plate.
And you'll notice Lucy's not washing any of these. You know, we know exactly where they've come from, like you know, just next door and things. But if you are washing them, then you have to wash them just before you eat them. Don't wash them and then leave them, because they've got a protective bloom on them, the sort of silvery sheen that you see on them. So yeah, don't wash them and put them in the fridge. If you wash them and leave them fresh, they'll keep for about 10 days. So
yeah. So there we go. They're beautiful blueberry vinaigrette on the salad. That looks really yummy. And you know, you could, why not put some blueberries in as well. Yum. Okay, now the moment everyone's been waiting for.
us especially.
Yes. So I could really go a cocktail right now. It's time to make the blueberry cocktail. So while I'm setting up, just bear with me. Oops.
Okay.
I'll get rid of the goat's cheese. Okay.
The good thing about blueberries is there's very few calories in them as well. Half a cup of juicy blueberries only contain 44 calories, but they do have 2 grams of your dietary fibre, which I think Lucy was talking about this morning on one of the live tours, and it's got 10% of your daily recommended vitamin C content, just for a figure. So.
Okay, so
Now what are you making?
I'm making a blueberry daiquiri. Again, the recipe for all of these things is on my Facebook page, Lucy Wilson Cookery. So you can get them on there, and I've no doubt that Leaf will probably, Open Farm Sunday will share them as well. So I'm going to make 2 cocktails, but for one large cocktail you need 60 ml of white rum. So I'm going to make 2. So I'm going to share with Robert.
Very good.
I'm going to have, you need some sugar syrup, which I just happen to have lying around. Very useful to have it made in your fridge. I'm going to guesstimate because my thing has balsamic vinegar on it, but you need about 15 ml, which is a tablespoon. So 1, 2, and then we want 1/3 of a cup of blueberries as well, and then you need half a lime squeezed. So I guess probably a proper cocktail maker would use a cocktail shaker. However, I'm not going to. I find this method much simpler and quicker.
It'd take you a while to shake those blueberries.
Yeah, I know. And you know, doing it this way, you're going to get the seeds and so on from the blueberries, which it doesn't bother me. I quite, you know, it's just a bit of extra fibre in your cocktail. But if you don't want that and you want a smoother finish, then just make a, you know, syrup out of your blueberries. Just boil them with a little bit of water and put them through a nylon sieve, and then add them to your to the rest of the ingredients. Right, this is going to be quite noisy, so you might want to turn your volume down. I think there's still some quite big items ice cubes in there, but I'm going to stop it. So, oh, yummy. Yep. Look at that colour. That's beautiful. And then for decorative purposes, I'm just going to do this. And I forgot to get some mint out of the garden actually, but you could put a sprig of mint in it too, and that would look, the green with the purple would look really pretty. Put that across there, and oops, instead of a green sprig of mint, we're going to do a green cocktail umbrella. Perfect, that looks great. And one for you too, Robert. So, I hope you have enjoyed the blueberry cooking demonstration today. As I say, if you've got any questions, please do fire them through, and hope you enjoy the rest of the demonstrations today and the tours tomorrow. So.
Yeah. There's lamb coming from Northumberland next, I think about 1 o'clock. So.
Brilliant.
Good.
Okay. Bye everyone.
Should we drink it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cheers.
Yeah, as we say in Australia, bottoms up. Yummy.